Well, there's a retake. No, I'm going to go with it. I'd like to introduce you to Sirocco and the Chautauqua Kid. That's right, I'm going to use the sh and not the ch. Damn northern New Yorkers anyway. They're Canadians. They don't trick me. They're Canadians. It used to be Sirocco and the Gremlin. But over the years, I'd say we've grown close. I'd say we have more of a relationship now than just professional. I mean, we're not lovers. We're both heterosexual males. But I think there's a romance there. I want to say there is, There's a love affair there. Perhaps it's unrequited, I don't know. Sirocco for hot wind, hot air. I mean, do I need to say any more? I named myself Sirocco. I think that really covers it. Hot air. And before I found it necessary to promote my friend to the Chautauqua/Chautauqua Kid, he was formerly known as the Gremlin. Now, I say the Gremlin because there are some things in this life that I wouldn't mind taking on my faithful and trusty sidekick, the Chautauqua/Chautauqua Kid. Perhaps a card game. A few rounds of darts, at the pub. There's one thing I would not take him on at versus the little VS. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. That would be contractual law. No, I wouldn't do that. I think Gremlin was too kind, even at the time. Because this is when I first knew him, before I became rather smitten with him. I should have probably started off just naming him the ferret or the weasel. And he's my attorney, I know, right? You send that man down a hole, and whatever's down in there is dead. Dead. I've seen the boy in action. Oh. Yeah, the Chautauqua Kid. He helps my mom out. As a token of my friendship, I gift him a stainless watch. He helps me out, I should say, or my mom. He helps me out. I gift him an 18 karat gold El Primero. Thank goodness Mom already had the Alzheimer's. She was well on her way. If she found out about that deal, she was only worth stainless, but my behind was worth El Primero. Yeah, I'd be in trouble with Mama. He's good counsel. He's been good counsel over the years. Yes, we're more than attorney-client privilege at this point. Most unfortunately for him and his texting machine. Yeah, I blow that shit up. And it's kind of like random. I'll go days. I might even get a text because he's like, where are you alive, John? And then I'll just blow up his phone for 2 or 3 days straight. He's like, quota, you can go away. That's how I am, though. I'm kind of hit and run. You know what I mean? That's kind of like my MO. I've got about 8 years on him. What a fine gentleman he is. He's a gentleman's gentleman. Almost, if that makes any sense. He'd make a fine Toastmaster. Methinks. We were going to lunch one day. I want to say we were going to lunch. We were going somewhere. Somehow he manages to maneuver my behind downtown. Has he ever been in my house? No. Somehow he manages to get me downtown for lunch or something. I don't know. And I remember walking with him one day. I want to say it was during a walk. Might not have been. Might have been a phone call, blah, blah, blah. I want to say we were walking. And I remember him turning to me. I want to remember him turning to me and saying, confessing his appreciation for some of my attributes. I am not a gentleman's gentleman. I could be if I chose to be. I have the ability to be. But more often than not, I choose not to be. I'd rather just be obtuse, blunt, and truthful. It's easier. I can take it too. Trust me. You come at me from people that know me and say, yeah. You come at me with something and I deem it to have value, the message, not the messenger. Keep that straight. That's critical for you. When somebody brings you a message, listen to the message, not the messenger. I share my experience, strength, and hope. I do. Yeah, he looked at me one day. We were, and he alluded to the fact that perhaps he didn't feel as streetwise. There was a sense of remorse somehow. He was confessing that I understood things and I behaved in a way in the world that he probably could not. And perhaps part of him wanted to. There. Did I mention he's a gentleman? You know, he's a lawyer. I mean, aside from being a snake, a serpent, the devil incarnate. I mean, aside from all that, he's a gentleman. I'm sure he comes from a fine family. I've seen what he's done as a father in his family unit. Commendable. I think he leans a little heavy towards one of the three, but I think there might be a favorite in the three. Did I say that? I slurred all that. I didn't say anything. I was just sleep talking. And when he looked at me and he opened his heart to me, man to man, he was lauding me in a sense. Applauding me, in a sense. And I realized that I had traded much more of my innocence for experiences, human experiences, than he had. And when I say human experiences, I mean, if your point of origin is zero, you got an X and a Y. There, I'm speaking to the erudites now. You got an X and a Y. If your point of origin is zero, think lower left. Think lower left. Think way lower left. I was in the negatives, but my lifestyle has brought me a lot of negatives. So it was almost like, unwittingly to my counsel, when he spoke it, it was the proverbial left-handed compliment. Thank you, counselor. I love you.